Hey toy fans, welcome back to the Spectre Creative channel. I'm your host, Scott Toy Guru Neitlich, and if you've been following this channel for a while, you know that it's all about understanding how the toy industry works, because I was fortunate to work in it for over 25 years, and I'm also a collector. And I use this channel to kind of highlight some of the beautiful and amazing things about the toy industry and some of the logistical things, which may not be as aesthetically pretty, but they're how toys get made. And as a reoccurring theme, I've always basically said, look, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just explaining how things work and the reasons for why things work. So with that kind of introduction, two actually quickie announcements. First, if you don't know, I'm on Twitter at spectrecreative.com. I just note this since I have way fewer Twitter followers than I have subscribers on YouTube, so you can check me out on Twitter too. I also have a huge backlog of videos, especially ones I made in the first few months that don't get watched as much just because they were up earlier. So do check out the backlog and the older videos because they're kind of just as interesting as the newer ones. Maybe the sound's not as good. I got a new mic recently. And the reason I bring this up is not just to plug some of the older videos that have fewer watches, but because this video I'm going to be kind of repeating a few things I've touched on in older videos only because it gets asked all the time in the comments. And that is exclusives. Toy product that's only available at one retailer. Why does it happen? Like I said, I've covered this a little bit in other videos, but I'm making this one to be direct, so that way if you have this question, instead of asking it in the comments over and over, you can just click on this video. Not that I don't love the comments, but I want to try to provide information. That's the whole reason for this. So let's talk about store exclusives. Well, they can range from a few different types. One is a exclusive actual figure set, whether it's a repaint or it's brand new tooling, meaning a new sculpt, meaning a brand new character that needs a giant metal mold to make that's expensive. Or it could be a new sort of a subset of figures like 2-packs or 3-packs that aren't available anywhere else. Or you could just see, repainted figures done for a variety of reasons. In this case, Walmart did some gold figures to celebrate the end of the Star Wars Skywalker saga. Another type of exclusive is an early window or an exclusive selling opportunity. This was the case with Masters of the Origins, where Walmart got them early before everyone else. Now the end result, no matter what type of exclusive we're dealing with, whether it's tooled, repainted, an exclusive window, a raffle, it means running all over town for us, the adult collectors, and I include myself in that because I have done more running around than I'd ever care to admit. And I'm sure you guys have too. It's kind of part of the hobby, and we sort of wish it wasn't a necessary part. Sometimes you have to start hitting retailers you wouldn't normally go to. Like Walgreens recently started, by recently I mean several years ago, started having exclusive figures for lines like Marvel Legends, and the only way you could get certain characters like Moon Knight was now going to Walgreens, so you had to add Walgreens to your toy hunting schedule. Yes, I get what this is like now having to hit all these different retailers, Best Buy and Walgreens and Target and Walmart and everything. So why does this happen? Well, it really is part of a deal process. And I know collectors aren't always happy with deals like this, and it's not what they always, like to see. And they don't understand how they fit into the deal-making process.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
The deal I'm talking about is between retailers and manufacturers. So a toy company, Spin Master, Jakks, Mattel, Hasbro, Just Fun, Aaron's Putty, they produce items in order to let retailers bring customers into their store. That's the point of a retailer, is to bring customers in. The manufacturer is there to give them something to sell. And obviously a manufacturer wants the best placement for their items, whether it's on an end cap, in aisle, in a special section. Everything at retail is done based on the price per square foot. And I don't mean the price that you're paying, it's the amount of money an item makes. So every square foot in a big box store goes by what's called retail math, where it has to do a certain amount of money per per square foot that it takes up in order to justify that it's using up that space. And if it doesn't make that money, a retailer is going to swap it for something else that will make that money, which is why you see toy lines get what's called delisted. So let's look at something like Avengers. All right, obviously retailers want to carry this, but in order to entice retailers to give it more aisle space, like end caps or premium placement, they will go to the manufacturers and say, well, we want an exclusive, an item that's only available at our store to bring customers specifically to our store versus one of our competitors. Now, again, this could just mean an early window, like a sales window, where, like with Masters of the Universe Origins, as I mentioned earlier, Walmart had a sort of a 6-month or 1-season lead on all of the other retailers to sell this. Now you could find Origins everywhere. Target, on Amazon, Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Dorkside Toys, etc., etc. But for 6 months, it was only available at Walmart. It was an exclusive window, not an exclusive product. But it still satisfies the retailer's need to have something that's only there. Now, looking at Motu Origins, with Walmart, you can see now they've moved to exclusive figures instead of an exclusive window, but it's still creating something to drive customers to that one retailer. And yes, as collectors, this is kind of a pain in the neck. I get it, because we're now going to multiple stores looking for things. But understanding how the machine works, and by the machine, I don't just mean the toy industry, but I mean the retail to manufacturer relationship, this is kind of not just a necessary, say, evil, but it's really just about shifting your perspective. While we look at exclusives as collectors as, oh my gosh, now it's something else I have to track down, retailers look at it as something that's going to draw a customer in. And I would say a positive way collectors can look at this is say, oh, while I may have to now drive all over looking at Walgreens for Moon Knight, at least now I'm getting Moon Knight. Moon Knight wouldn't be available if Walgreens didn't step up and say, we want an exclusive figure. So there is that perspective to throw in there, that exclusives create additional SKUs and additional SKU counts that wouldn't otherwise exist. And it does mean we get more figures in the long run. For the retailer, they just want to sell items by square foot. And honestly, it makes way more sense to convert the toy aisle into selling something like paper towels that sell way better than action figures or dolls or anything in the toy category. The velocity or volume per square foot is huge on paper products because customers are buying them every week, as opposed to toys, which, while we're going to the toy aisle daily or weekly or hourly, most people are not. Most people go to the toy aisle for one reason. It's to buy a gift for your child's friend. They probably have 20 friends in their class, which means 20 times a year, you're going to the toy aisle to pick up a gift for their birthday party. That's why big box stores have the toy aisle, a convenience for parents needing to buy a gift for their child's friend. Of course, Christmas and birthdays, but that's, once a year for your actual kids, as opposed to something that happens throughout the course of the year. The collectors, we look at the aisle for us, but they're really for this type of toy purchase, for your child's friend's birthday. And that's why the toy aisle really exists. So it's kind of like, living with that giant squid. You just sort of pretend it doesn't exist. I get it. Exclusives from a collector standpoint are annoying. It's tough. It means running around, but it's part of the deal of how the toy industry and really any industry works. It's part of the system. It's a necessary part because without the exclusives, retailers wouldn't have the incentive to carry the main line or give the main line premium placement. So it is a trade-off. It's a deal that exists between the manufacturers and the retailers. It really is a pillar that keeps the toy industry up and running, and without it, it would fall apart. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for many more videos like this from Spectra Creative, and give me a like and a subscription because it does tell YouTube to share this with other people, and that's really the reason to do it. Not just because, I need subscriptions. I want to share information. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.